Let's recite together chapter 121 in the Tehillim. Shir Lamalois Eso Ein Ele Hahorim Ein Yovi Ezri Ezri Mimadonoi Oise Shomayim Va'oretz Alitena Mitraglecha Lyonim Shemrecha Yenei Lo Yonu V'Lishon Shem Yisrael Adonai Shemrecha Adonai Tzilcha Liad Yiminecha Yoim HaMeshem Shlo Yakeko V'Yorer Baloilo Adonai Yishmocha Mikol Ro Yishmo Res Nafshecha Adonai Yishmo Tzitzo V'Yacho Miato V'Yado Ilom. And let us give some tzedakah, and let me share with you now a thought for the day. Bahaloischa. The name of the parsha of this week is Bahaloischa, which basically tells us how God commands Aaron HaKohen from Moshe Rabbeinu and tells him Bahaloischa sanerois, as we spoke yesterday, when you will lift those candles, light those candles. The name of every parasha encapsulates the different topics, which are discussed in this week's parasha. So as we just said, Bahaloischa, which refers to lighting the candle, but the exact translation of it is to lift up. So the beginning, as we just said, Bahaloischa, lifting oneself, lifting others through the candles, through the fire and flame of Torah. But then the Torah goes on to say another event, another topic, which is the initiation of the Levites into their service of the Mishkan and later on the Beis HaMikdash as helpers to the Kohanim. And the Torah says, take the Chumash, the Torah says, Vadabar Hashem and Moshe, and God speaks to Moshe, Leimar, Kaches alvi mitoch b'nei Yisrael, take the Levites from amongst the Jewish people, v'tihar ta'oisam, you should purify them. And there's a whole process. What was the process? They need first to be sprinkled, and they had to shave their entire body, immerse their clothing, bring a certain sacrifice, and then they would have to get close to the Ohel Moed, to the holy tent of Moshe Rabbeinu. The entire Jewish community was supposed to gather there, and they had to put their hands on the Levites. V'samchu b'nei Yisrael es yedeim al Levim. The b'nei Yisrael, the Jewish people, should put their hands on the Levim. And then it says, v'heinif Aaron es Levim tenufa lefnei Hashem. Aaron HaKohen had to lift each one of those Levites, which in itself is something which is difficult to grasp. That day, he lifted 22,000 individuals. Lifted each one of them, had to bring him, the direction is the same as one does with a carbon. And with this, then they were initiated into the holy service of the Beis HaMikdash. Without belaboring, how did Aaron HaKohen was able to do this? The Talmud says Aaron HaKohen was extremely strong. Must be very strong. Pick up 22,000 people, one after the other. What a job. But there is a moral, there is a spiritual concept over here. Before the Kohanim, the Levites, were able to enter the service of in the Mishkan, they needed to have the elevation, initiation by Moshe and the elevation by Aaron HaKohen. This is a message for all of us. For us to be able to serve Hashem, for us to create the Mishkan, the dwelling place for God, which each one of us is. We need to be lifted up by the Moshe Rabbeinu, by the Kohen, by the tzaddikim of the generation, to lift us up and give us the strength to be able to accomplish our mission. This reminds me of a little anecdote. Rabbi Yosef Weinberg, who was the roving emissary of the Rebbe for over 50 years, traveling the globe, connecting people to their roots, connecting people to the Rebbe. One night, late at night, he gets a phone call, I think it was from Brazil, about an emergency issue, question that he needs to ask the Rebbe, some kind of a medical emergency. Rabbi Weinberg ran to 770, hoping to still find Rav Chadakov in his office to be able to ask the question to the Rebbe. Turns out they came to Rabbi Chadakov's office, he didn't see him. He figured usually Rabbi Chadakov late at night before the Rebbe goes home spent some time with the Rebbe in his room, so he slipped a note under the Rebbe's door, expecting Rabbi Chadakov to notice it and hand it to the Rebbe and receive an answer. When he received the answer, he realized that Rav Chadakov had not picked up the letter, but it was the Rebbe himself who from his desk noticed it. He bent himself down, went to the door, picked up the note, and responded. Weinberg felt bad, having caused the Rebbe to have to go bend down and pick up the note, and he apologized to the Rebbe. And the Rebbe responded, no need to apologize. Harei zui kol inyoni lahorim. This is my entire raison d'etre, is to lift Jewish people higher. So don't need to apologize. So Eibishter, the Rebbe lifted us. The Rebbe told us that he's lifting us towards welcoming Mashiach. Welcome. So now we want to be lifted with Mashiach straight into the Beis HaMikdash with the clouds of glory that is going to transport us. And please, let this happen now.